everyone, my name's Amanda and I'm the Fun Size Reader, and today I wanted to finally talk to you about The War of Two Queens by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Y'all, this book had some controversy, man. Okay, and I'm not here to talk about the controversy. I am just here to tell you what I thought about this book because I read it. That's it. I am not calling out anybody else's beliefs. I am not nothing like that. Like, not here for that. I'm just here to tell you what I thought. So here are my thoughts. I personally liked this one the best of the series, of the From Blood and Ash series so far. I thought that this one had the most plot. I thought that this one had the plot-driven amount of spice. I thought that this one had some character development in it. Some, not like tons that I was expecting. But just like all of the other ones in the series, I did think that this one had its own flaws. This is a fourth book. I'm not even gonna bother with like a non-spoilery section. Well, maybe just a little bit right now. Star rating for this one. I gave this one 4 stars. For me, this one was 4. I was not in the I absolutely love it the whole time, but I did really like it compared to the other ones. The spice level on this one is an interesting rating because a majority of this book has no spice in it. And then things happen and then there's spice again. And for those of you who have read it, like, you should know. And it sticks pretty true to the amount that JLA puts in her writing as compared to the other books. But I did think this one was attached to the plot more than the other books. It reminded me more so of A Shadow in the Ember, like how the spice actually fit with the plot. So I did appreciate that one in this book. It wasn't just like there to be there. At least I didn't feel, as compared to like Crown of Gilded Bones and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire was the worst. Like that one was just there to be there. But this one, it felt more like it was part of the plot. This book could have done well with some editing, just like all of the other ones. There are some times that I feel like things could be very much cut down. I did think that I got bored in parts, same as I did in all of her other parts of the series that I did wish were a little bit shorter, but I know that that just kind of comes with the territory when I'm reading her books. I did a video a couple weeks ago about what order to read the books in, and I'm kind of addending that order right now. I did the last video because I was like, I haven't read this book. That was my caveat. I hadn't read this one yet. It hadn't even gotten to me yet. So I gave the order options based on like what readers may want. I said the caveat was, I have not read this one. So I don't know if that changes things. I think it changed things. So without giving away spoilers, I will addend that I do think that you should read A Shadow in the Ember before you read this book. There's a lot more backstory that I think takes place, and arguably I would want to read the entire Shadow in the Ember series. It's not finished yet, obviously, but I wanted to read that whole thing before I read this. I feel like things would just be so much more clear because of the interconnectedness. I think you should read A Shadow in the Ember anyways because it's my favorite that she's written, like absolute favorite, Daddy Niktos. He's my #1. I think this will make much more sense in some ways if you read that one. A lot of the places that they go to are the same. And so if you know that, or you know about the dragons, or you know, like, things just mesh better. That's all I'm gonna say. That, I guess, is gonna be the most like non-spoilery thing, because now I can just kind of mention things. So specifically talking about the length of the book, I do think that the journey to get Casteel was way too long. I found myself getting bored. I actually read like 350 pages of the book, and then I put it down and I read 2 other books. That's why it took me so long to get here. It just took too long. It just took too long. I just wanted it to move forward. But that being said, I did feel that the like culmination of this war, this battle between the 2 queens was well done. Like I did love that part of the plot. I loved that we were actually moving forward, like we were getting story. Even though that we were getting story, I think there are still some things about her style of writing that just I don't 100% mesh with. I really like how, for example, I did actually reread Crescent City 1 before I read Crescent City 2. I did not have the time to do that with these books, and there's so much that I feel like they're hard to recap. So I actually I started putting tabs. Anytime a question was answered or something important happened that I was going to need to remember for the next book or for later in the book, like I tabbed it so that I could easily get back to it. I normally don't do that for books, but I found myself starting this one and not having any idea. I didn't remember at all what happened in the last book. So getting back to my point, like when I read Crescent City 2, even if I hadn't read the first one, Sarah J. Maas does a really good job of when she drops new information, she will sometimes give a half a sentence or a couple sentences explanation of why you need to know that or what that connected to in the past. I do have a more difficult time with that in these books. I feel like things are dropped and then I'm like, wait, I don't remember why that's important, or I don't remember what happened before, and then I look for a quick explanation, and oftentimes there's not one. A lot of times there's like questions that are asked, and then it's, oh, well, you don't need to know that yet, or yes, we talked about that before, and I'm like, but I don't remember what happened before, like tell me. So that is hard reading these books, but I'm hoping that my like tabbing process will fix that for the next one, because that is just something with her style that is difficult for me in reading them. I will touch briefly on the topic that was the controversy. Again, these are my own opinions. This is how I feel about it. I saw it coming because obviously we learned about the joining back in the second book when it was like implied at us or explained to us. So friends of mine that have been reading these books all together as a book club, like we have been knowing that this was coming for many pages now. And it finally happened. Because of the way that it was written into the plot, I understand why it happened. We knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but we were finally given a reason as to why it was going to happen. The part that for me is like wishy-washy a little bit is I feel like she had 2 paths to take, right? She had the path of this happened, they're joined, this was a one-time thing, and now I move on, right? And then there was the other path of this happened, we kind of all have feelings for each other, and I'm saying all parties have feelings for all parties because I believe that that's to be true. I feel that Poppy has feelings. She obviously loves Casteel. They're heartmates. But I feel that she also has feelings for Kieran, and Kieran also has feelings for Casteel, and Casteel also has feelings for Kieran. Like, they all have feelings for each other. And then we move forward with now we all have feelings for each other and this could happen again. I personally would have preferred the first way because of the previous setup of the book, but I understand the buildup that she gave us over the past book and a half to the way that she did it. Like, I see how she did what she did. Doesn't mean that like I wouldn't have wanted the other explanation, but then again, like, Cass is not my number one. It's Daddy Nyktos. I don't have to worry about him because he didn't do this. I get it. I get both ways. And like, that's just what happened. I didn't feel like it ruined my love for the series or the story because I saw it coming. But then again, like, I didn't super love Casteel after I found Nyktos. So maybe that, like, adjusted my feelings about it. I will say that it does make me a little sad that the ending of this book, I feel like, was overshadowed by all of the overpowering emotions about that situation, because I felt like the ending was great. It was so great. Like, and coming from somebody who loves A Shadow in the Ember, I feel like the connections that were made, the anticipation for now what's gonna happen in that other series, because we know what happened in this one and some of the explanations, and I feel like there were so many more doors that were opened, and Daddy Nyktos is gonna be in this book too, or this next one. And so I don't know, I feel like the ending was so good. It was so good. And I feel like that it might have been overshadowed because of a lot of the other feelings. And that does make me sad, because I do think that the ending was so great. You know, we all feel how we feel. Like, that's our opinions. Like, it's not bad. Books are supposed to make us feel. They are. That's what they're there for. That's what we want. That's why we read. I will continue reading the series. Me personally, like, I will continue. It do take me a while to read because of the length and because I have to take breaks and all of that. But I am super excited for fall, where the next Shadow in the Ember is set to come out. I'm hoping it comes out because I need some more Nyktos in my life. Nyktos is so much better than Casteel, you guys. Like, if you haven't read that book yet, please go read it. Please go read it and just, like, love it. Please love it. I do want to mention one thing real fast before I take off. I do agree, and I have seen this happen in other series, and it's bothered me in other series as well. Sometimes the, like, continual power thing where you have one character that just keeps getting everything and everything and everything and everything and everything and everything, and then she can do everything, like, it's just too much. Sometimes I wish we would have just found out what she was in the beginning, and we wouldn't have question partly answered, question partly answered, question partly answered to finally get to this culmination. Like, there's too many reveals, and it makes it seem like, again, another thing she can do, another thing she can do. So sometimes it just, like, rubs me the wrong way. And it rubbed me a little bit in this one, not as bad as it has in other stories, but sometimes the questioning and then not getting full answers and then just being confused, that's hard. That's hard. I also wish there was a glossary. I really do. I wish there was a freaking glossary in these books, because sometimes I have to remind myself what all the terminology means. Like, it's so hard. Anyways, I really liked the book. I gave it 4 stars. It's spicy after a certain point, but overall, I like the series. I will keep reading the series. I'm excited for the next book in the other series. Can't wait. Yeah. I will put the link for the book down below if you have not read it already. And in the meantime, don't forget, you can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at The Fun Size Reader. See you guys next time.